Thoughts for later.
Should we play some Nobilis?
We should.
I think we should.
I don't remember anything about if people had projects to finish.
I believe we did XP at the end.
We did.
We did XP, but did projects finish last time?
Yeah,
I have many that are close.
I have an Imperial Miracle to spend.
Okay.
And one of mine finished, but it just gave me aspect, so I think I'm good.
Right.
There.
And I know what I want to do with it, but I think I need to track. Did you make Terte Utnapishtim an anchor?
Yep.
Yep, I think that happened.
It's in my list, so.
Okay.
Just a sec.
Yeah, so that happened, and then I think immediately after that happened, Phineas made all excretions extinct on Earth.
Yep.
Because I had a lot of miracle points. And so, like, I know, yeah, Will, like, tell us where you want to start. I know what I want to do with the miracle, and I think Zen and I have chatted about it a little.
So at this point, like, if I take control, I'm just going to railroad you guys. So I want you guys to determine what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And
funnily enough, I'm on board a railroad.
I remember before I mentioned that I was going to see. I think I wanted to see my family because we haven't.
Right.
We've talked about them so much. We have never seen them.
But how long do you wait before you go track them down?
How long is it?
Because you guys went back
like if
to
we
the
want
church.
a time skip.
So like the way I GM, right? It's like I determine what different factions are going to want to do, and then I have determined the time frame of their actions, and I need to know when you guys do certain things in order to determine how their plans will change.
Okay. I'd probably, like, knowing that effectively, like, chaos reigns now, I'd want to do so fairly quickly.
Sure. So, like, same day?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Is anybody else doing things that day?
And I was wondering if you guys are doing other stuff or coming with me. I know Phineas, we had talked specifically about things like my family before, so you might want to, like, come meet them in person or something.
Yeah, I think if you asked me to, I would, but I think Phineas has other stuff on his mind as well. But what would Robert do?
I think he would ask you.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he would, I think literally we're at the same scene. Where did we go? We went to the church?
Yeah, we're in my church.
Yeah, I thought so. In your church, I think I just say, I need to see my family. Phineas, can you come with me and trek? What's the fastest way to get there?
I think you just see a little glimmer in Trek's eye, and outside you hear this loud engine revving.
Yeah, Umaya's actually sitting in the driver's chair, and she's pushing down the pedal with her metal stick.
Yeah. Awesome.
I like how like creation is literally ending, and we're just like, yep, let's go hang out with Robert's family.
Let's go get in a fast car.
Road trip movie before the final apocalypse.
Exactly. it's the second last episode of the season of the series. It's the Mass Effect Citadel DLC.
Totally. I love that. I love that as a way to end. It's very personal. Is Livia around? The female bishop?
Yeah, where she is. Yeah, she's around.
Is
She's
she
like-
cross-eyed, drooling, and broken still? Like,
She's not that bad.
okay.
I think she's praying. Probably somewhere in like the private rooms where the bishops collect themselves before giving sermons.
Right.
I know there's a word for that. And it's telling that I've been away from church so long, I can't remember.
What?
Not a rectory, is it?
Could be a rectory.
Before we go, can I'd just like to make her an anchor of mine. And I know we said that the last episode was the end of a story.
Yep.
So I wouldn't mind changing a couple of things around. I'd like to. I have a bond about like missing my parents, but it hasn't really come up in play.
Yeah.
So if it's cool with you, Golden, I'll just change it over to being about her.
Sure.
Also,
I haven't haunted you at all. I'm sorry about that, but it's just been so packed.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's been a lot going on. It's true.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry for not haunting you. There's other terrible things I've been doing.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't haunt you. I was busy ending existence as we know it.
pretty much.
What is my bond? It has to be a bond, not an affliction, right?
Yep.
And a bond is something that I do rather than something that you bring up.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
But you can word them pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Right. I think it's like I like feel responsible
Okay.
for Olivia's should it be phrased as an action? Like I tend to Olivia rather than I feel responsible?
It's like just as a definition of your relationship with them. It's either something you do, something. Let me just find these, and I'll be 100% sure.
I mean, the way that I want to phrase it is like I will show Olivia the true path.
There you go. Something you must
feel like that's
do,
not-
or should do. Something you can't do, or shouldn't do, or something that drives you into action.
All right.
Can I make a suggestion that's a little more generic? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what your plans for Livia are, but if you make it something like, I cannot leave the flock without a shepherd. So,
Yeah.
like, you make Livia
Oh.
Yeah. That works really well.
Yeah, that's good.
The other thing, I'm 90% sure that she's already changed his anchor.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that would make sense. You would have
Can't
to
be
overcome
double
that.
anchored.
Yeah, you'd have to overcome that anchor.
Yeah, you basically have to fight change over her.
No, I don't want to do that.
All right, sorry.
No, that's I forgot about that. That makes sense.
are there
you
any
could make it-
examples in the lore of like negotiating a change of anchor? Like, hey, I need this person.
Oh, you
you're
can totally do that.
Oh, I never
Hmm.
thought about that. Wait, I thought you couldn't withdraw. You said when. What was it?
They can't
The excursion.
stop making somebody be an anchor, but they can
Okay.
choose not to fight you over it
When
you take
you-
them away.
Take it over. Oh, okay, I see. Cool.
No, that's fine. Let's leave it.
All right, sorry about that.
I don't think no, that's fine. I don't think Phineas would fight. Anyway. And there's someone back at the chancel who I could make an anchor, so that's okay.
Sure, but yeah, you totally should think about like what things are making anchors, especially when you leave the Earth, unless you intend to bring Umaya with you,
Yep.
or the chancel with you, or the church with you. I mean, the
Mhm.
church itself is an anchor, but not everybody is anchored to it, of course.
Yeah. Hey, do I still have my 5-point affliction driven to acts of hubris? Even though
Yes, it
After
takes a
a
month
three-
to heal. This is why time is important, because if you guys decided to take time to rest,
Yeah.
things would happen,
Yeah.
unfortunately. It's
No,
basically
that's
the
fine.
wandering monster chart from D&D, right? Like, you guys make camps to heal. Who sets
Faction
up
turn.
guard? Who watches
Yeah.
first?
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
that's fine. Okay. I just wasn't sure if it like refreshed after a story.
It begins to heal after a story.
Okay. Cool.
I see.
All right, let's just move on. Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Okay. The one thing I do want to notice is you are staying in the church. Like, you're probably, like, walking around making sure everything's in order. And they got, like, the 10 Commandments on the wall. And you look over and there's only 9 now.
Okay.
What's missing?
Which one?
Thou shalt not murder.
Uh,
Oh, okay.
makes sense.
Yeah. That's obviously the least important of them.
The age of murder.
Mhm.
Okay, I have a technical question. Does Phineas know that is missing?
I think so, but you don't remember what the problem is?
Like, you know that something's wrong, but you don't quite know what, or you don't see why anything's wrong with it missing murder.
Yeah, you don't see why anything will be wrong about that.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
The other thing is, like, so I did some research. So there are no such thing as laws anymore.
Okay.
Let me actually look this up again.
Yeah, can you remind us who was it who was destroyed? Excruciated.
So there's
Who was
Lam.
murdered when murder was still a thing?
Lam got murdered, who was the Imperator of Willpower, Law, and the Brokenhearted.
Right.
So you probably actually can't get brokenhearted. And also, everybody set your willpower to 0, because it no longer exists.
Right.
I don't
Okay.
have that. I've never used my willpower and don't have it tracked, so yay.
That's
We
great.
used it like first session for mundane actions and really haven't touched it since, I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I even used it then. I used some in theory, but never tracked it because that was the only time I used it.
So now, because people can't just spend willpower to do normal things, most people have passion about staying alive.
Yeah, most people, I imagine, are fairly stagnant, honestly, in terms of...
They just don't have... They can't do anything they don't have a skill for.
Right.
Yeah, they can't exert. Yeah, they can't exert willpower to try things that aren't easy already.
Right. It's super weird
Okay.
to think about, but
And how, depending on how willpower is defined, I would imagine that gambling, candy, alcohol,
Oh yeah, all
addictive
vices are
substances are
completely just out of
Great.
so even the 10 Commandments are more like suggestions now.
the 10 suggestions.
you
Because
might
we know
wanna
you-
think about not stealing stuff.
Yeah, because we know you can't help it.
Totally.
But if you can help it for once, then
Yeah.
try not to. But it's
Yeah,
okay.
the 10 Commandments are neither laws nor things that people can choose to do.
Yes.
Also, the
There's-
power of personal truth died, which means there is no personal truth. There's only objective truth.
Right.
I mean, that probably helps, in all honesty.
It could, in many ways.
There's also- I mean,
it can also lead to everyone feeling robot-y.
It also means that, I think it means that society can still be wrong. Like, not everything is truth. So that
Right.
people tend to conform to other people's view of who they are.
Right. So hang
Yeah,
on.
you don't have like a
It's
internal feeling of what is right. You don't
Right. You don't have
you don't have a
personal-
conscience.
so
you don't
does
have
that mean it's like
personal-
metaphysical mob rule?
Yeah.
Like whatever
Yeah.
the consensus is fine?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
no one has a sense of right and wrong that's internal.
For example, people in the church are starting to just act like people expect Christians to act like, and not how they would choose to act like, that kind of thing.
Right.
Man,
That
Like,
means the bad people get
that
way
means
worse.
propaganda works. Literally, propaganda changes people into what you say they are.
Yep.
Yeah.
The good thing is it's just the power that died, not the Imperator. So eventually, people will have personal truth again. But
Okay, because then power can be remade, right?
we don't
Right.
know what the power will decide personal truth should be like.
It wouldn't be the same, yeah. It won't be exactly the same for
Yeah.
sure. Can I ask? Can what Imperators are in charge of? Can that ever be restored? Like, would it take literally God coming back to life for that to come back, and nothing less?
Pretty much.
Okay.
It is possible to to rescue parts of it. When an Imperator dies, if another Imperator comes, they can take over the pieces that were missing. It's described as like grafting on.
Can an Imperator have more than 3 domains then, or whatever it
This
is?
is basically how they get their
States.
fourth, is that they would be like, oh, there's no more willpower. Well, I'm going to grab willpower, and now I'm the Imperator of willpower as well.
Cool.
But because of the circumstances that were there, no Imperators were able to do that. And
Yeah,
also,
because they all got wrecked.
worse is that the Excrucians can build more Excrucians out of those parts.
Oh, lovely.
So
That's good.
So they could actually decide to make an Imperator of willpower. That's also an
Would
Excrucian.
Umaya know this and tell us this in character?
Yeah.
Okay, so we would know that's a thing.
But
At some point, we'll want to probably stop them from doing that.
She would also say that they would have had to done it already.
Mhm.
It's not something they can just let die and then use later. They would have to use
Oh,
it
they
immediately.
have to be they have to prepare it for during the moment of death. So
Right.
It sounds like they have to harvest the spark of it.
basically,
Pretty
yeah.
much.
There's some necromantic stuff going on there.
It's basically like a Frankenstein monster. It's described as.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Was there one other Imperator who died?
Yeah, Taurus died, the Imperator of War and the current age.
Yeah.
So I decided his. Where did I write him down?
Is that the second age or the third age?
The third age. We're in the fourth age now. So I decided that what makes up war is an army, bravery or honor, and pillaging.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's great. So you cannot take from the vanquished. You can only take from. That's interesting.
Interesting. This is it's not. I'm not saying this in a bad way, though. I can see how it could be interpreted. I'd say it in this really cool way. But this is like the time travel story of suddenly everything's different, but just magnified by 100.
Super weird.
Yeah. That was an awful big butterfly someone stepped on.
Yeah. Someone just went on a butterfly hunting spree, basically.
All right.
Also, there's another Imperator that probably is going to die pretty soon from Ataris. I mean, from the new Imperator, Ananda, the Imperator of Murder.
Mhm.
Right.
Who is in charge? This Imperator that's going to be killed is in charge of things like logistics and holding at bay and something else.
Okay.
And if that Imperator
I was
dies,
gonna say.
we're never going to get our Amazon packages on time anymore, guys. We need
Yeah.
to stop this.
Yeah.
But it's like prophesied that this will happen because in order for Ananda's world to come to fruition, these things have to go. So
Right.
we're gonna see a rare case of Imperator on Imperator violence.
Mm.
Wait. So who is Ananda prophesized to destroy?
This I haven't named this Imperator yet, but
Yeah.
there's certain things I've noticed by looking at the lore of Ananda and Ananda's chancel, the city back,
Yeah.
that I determined that there has to be another Imperator who has to die in order for the world to change in the way that the book says it does.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
we're kind of in like a transitionary period where the world is still like mostly the same, and it's about to become basically unrecognizable.
Yeah, it's still like it's a shadow of its former self instead of something completely different.
Right.
Okay.
Like the city back is a place where um, vehicles and buildings are self-aware and migrate.
Mhm.
It's a place where, like, you know that old joke about cats owning their owners, that becomes real.
Yeah.
There's no more people creating consumer products. The stores create consumer products in order to either lure humans to feed on them or to form a symbiotic relationship with them somehow.
Right.
So
Yeah.
the world
capitalism.
becomes super weird, basically.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it's effectively like we're in another world.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet, but these are things
Yeah.
your characters would know about.
That would happen. Okay.
That they're probably going to happen, and nobody knows exactly how or when.
Yeah. Okay.
So all that said, let's go meet Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is what, like, that is the new, like, oh man, that's different than I expected. Not in a bad way, but in a like, Robert goes to meet her and she's different than she was when he left.
Yeah,
When he
she's
last saw
definitely
her.
changed.
Um,
Does she even remember who you are?
I don't see why she wouldn't. That hasn't changed.
Okay.
I don't. I think that I have a bond saying I am famous on Earth. So if she wouldn't remember, then it would only be because no one remembers, which would make my bond moot. So I think she does.
No, that seems legit.
But I think, like, yeah, I think that. What do we see in this strange world?
Like, I think you can't actually go home, and it looks the same still.
Yeah, it looks the same on the outside because this affects time, so it feels like this has always been what things are like.
Right, retroactively changed reality.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not
this
that
is
they're
so unusual because Robert is a character who has a lot of willpower, or never had, whatever, a lot of willpower, and now it is like he never did.
Yeah, do these retroactive changes only affect mundane people, or
Oh yeah,
us as
yeah.
well?
I think they would affect us as
They
well.
affect you too, but you're able to recognize that something's missing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you
So
can't. So like if I told you there's no more compassion, and you tried to add compassion, I'd be like, no, stop. You don't
Yeah.
remember how to be compassionate. You know that
Yeah.
there used to be this thing you could do, but you're no longer able to find a way to do it.
Yeah, and so I think this is like Robert just feels without willpower. He feels, I think, way more apathetic than before. Maybe way more like, yeah, maybe apathetic's the best word for it.
You're like
Maybe lazy.
resigned.
Yeah, lazy might be the better way. Like, and not that he doesn't care, he's just not going to bother to do anything about it.
Okay. Wow. So they killed willpower and brought upon the NUY's universe. Like nobody even cares to save the world anymore. That could be.
That's the thing when you kill willpower.
Damn.
Oh, I think he probably like he doesn't probably have willpower, but he like the greatest amount of what someone might consider willpower, if they had that concept, is in this world is probably the lowest amount of like, oh come on, you're not even really trying. In the other world, like we would give our best efforts would be like half, like would be considered half efforts. And
Right.
But
like,
yeah,
I feel like you still have.
Like trying and effort is still a thing. Just that the willpower, the ability to try well, is not a thing.
I feel like you still have emotions, and instincts and
Yeah.
drives.
It's not his entire thing. It's just that
But you just don't have
when things get hard, he doesn't have the tenacity.
right. You don't have the ability to overcome those impulses anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have the control or the restraint.
Oh, this is going to get really bad, as he is a sadism person visiting his wife. I don't know if...
Yeah, like we almost become slaves to like our passions or skills, our bonds and our reflections, right? Like those are the things that we do in the world.
Yeah.
And everything else, like we can't overcome our ability to not do things that we want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As players you can, but as characters you cannot.
Yeah.
Yes. Man, that would be weird because of that, and this is just us we keep talking about effectively the waves that these make. Imagine how normal cheating like in a relationship would seem. It's like, yeah, monogamy might not be a thing that people really care about, and it would be possibly seen as this rare thing because no one would be able to restrain themselves.
Right.
That's so weird.
And the proper response to that is murder.
Possibly. Wow, that probably has led to a lot of retroactive deaths.
Yeah, so here's a question, Robert. Cheated on you?
You broke up.
Oh, I was wondering if Robert ever cheated on his wife.
Retroactively or non-retroactively?
No, non-retroact. I don't know. Is there a difference there?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it if it's the retroactive version. Like,
yeah,
it is not immoral.
It's seen, and also no wonder. Like, you can't resist yourself from murdering a person if you're angry.
Right. So I'm really glad now because I literally have an affliction I can't be tempted to sin.
Yeah, no, that's really good here.
But then again, murder's not a sin anymore.
Remember. That is true.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, let's stop going down this rabbit hole because it doesn't seem to end.
Yeah, totally. Okay.
Like the world's population is probably fewer because there have been probably that many.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I think there's just as many people as there always was. But.
But within 5 or 10 years, I'm thinking decimation is.
Well, maybe people just have bigger families now.
That makes sense, and might start having kids earlier because
humans now breed and have litters because survivability went in the toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, remember there are powers working, like they're doing miracles to make sure reality doesn't collapse. They don't want humanity to go extinct.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
not all of the imperators are dead.
Like people, this is not a static situation.
Okay,
that's the thing.
So what? So one other setting question: does the council still exist? Like, does Ananda have other people around?
Not only
them.
Like, I think when law died, like rule of law died. Like they literally cannot be another council.
Anarchy is the way of the world now, and it just is.
Yep. Or at least, I think they can rule through fear, or through power, or through, like, a theocracy could still exist, because that's not something necessarily based on law.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be.
Yeah, there is still power. There just isn't law.
Correct.
So there's still
hierarchy without any governing rules.
I mean, there are governments, but it's like a huge bureaucracy that doesn't have any like laws that have to be followed.
Right.
Like they might have to report to, a committee on ethics still.
Right.
But there's no laws that say they have to follow the dictates of the committee. They would only allow the committee as long as they were afraid of them, or as long as the committee had actual power.
The Nobilis are allowed to love now? That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Oh, that is cool.
Well, they're not banned from love.
They're not banned from it. There might be like...
How afraid of you are Lord Entropy finding out you're in love?
Right.
I mean, that guy bitched out at the start of the whole thing. I'm not too worried about him.
Yeah.
Cool.
So what does that look like? I think what we see, I think the place doesn't look that different when you get there from an outsider's perspective. But I think that Robert looks at like some of his family pictures, and they're completely different, like because of the retroactivity, than they were before.
Yeah, I think you have extra kids.
I think that I have extra kids. I think that, like, usually Robert would have a vice. I don't think it would be sadism when he was mundane. What would his vice be that he had no willpower to resist?
I mean, based on his success, probably work.
Yeah. So I think in all the family pictures, Robert's no longer there. He's no longer in them.
All right.
And I think
it's all like your wife and the nanny.
Yeah, and the guy that she's with because she literally can't resist herself from like having a side husband.
Different guy in every family photo.
Yep. And Robert, like, I don't think how to put this? I think people can still resent themselves for their giving into their vices. Like, willpower may not be a thing, but that doesn't mean that.
Regret is certainly a power still.
Exactly.
But I think
so I think that's probably he's only murdered some of these guys, not all of them.
So you're looking through your family album, and you're like, you remember the situation where one of your kids murdered their sibling for your affection?
Yeah, that would totally be a thing, and they probably weren't even that old. They were probably less than 10 years old. It's like one of those like childhood tantrums, but they literally can't calm down.
Right.
Yeah.
Man. We have that Game of Thrones thing where...
I know we haven't talked about this stuff very much, but is it okay if I X-card child violence?
Yeah, that's about as much as I was going to say.
Sure.
Do you want... Well, X-card is in don't want to talk about it, or it doesn't happen? Because those are both legitimate.
It's a good question. I'd like it to not come up again, I think.
Okay.
Is the
yeah.
I remember now we talked about that. I forgot, sorry.
Yeah. No, it's cool. No, it's like we're talking, and like that makes sense as a thing. It's just
let's just leave it alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the moment.
This is a dark place.
This is.
So let's actually move into.
So,
what does your house look like?
I think I could go into a rabbit hole of like how without willpower Robert probably didn't build his business and stuff, but he has the skills of business. He probably would anyways, because it would be one of the easiest things for him. Yeah, I also just realized I have a skill of lying, and while he may be good at it, old Robert, pre-retcon Robert probably didn't lie that much to his I'm sure he made mistakes, but he didn't lie really to his family. He probably was effectively a perpetual liar. He did it all the time. That was probably another one of his vices. Because it's so easy for him. He has a skill of 5 in it. So that's the thing. And then I think that what happens? I think he is first greeted. I think he hears a noise behind him and turns around suddenly. I'm still maintaining Legendary Master, so I probably hear a noise as it's. I think it's unusual for Robert not to hear a noise like a block away, and so he's probably so lost in the moment that he heard but didn't realize, didn't know he heard a noise behind him, that someone was in the same room as him, and he turns around, and there is one of his kids that he didn't have before the thing, and the kid is is surprised to see him, of course, and says Robert, I think in this timeline was still missing for a few weeks.
Oh yeah, totally.
So the kid is wide-eyed for a second, and then just yells out "Daddy!" and loudly.
Yeah.
And then with his enhanced hearing, Robert can hear everyone else waking up when that happens, and the kid like runs into Robert's arms. And because of the fact that Robert has like 2 sets of memories, he still remembers loving this child, and so picks him up in his arms, knows his name, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm. Is this Robert Jr.?
I don't think it's Robert Jr. I think Robert Jr. is I think he's still the oldest son.
Oh, okay.
And how old is Robert? I think Robert Jr. is would university still be a thing, like college?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So then Robert Jr. would be going to I don't think he's moved out. I think he's still living here. I think he's about to move out. Like in a month, he's about to go to college. He has graduated high school. We haven't decided on a date, but maybe it's like sometime in the summer. Did we decide on a date?
I think it was
so.
summerish.
Okay. So yeah, he's off for summer vacation after graduating high school.
Okay.
So I think he is around, but much older. And yeah, I think like there's a veritable swarm of kids, probably 8 of them, of different ages, run into the room. I imagine with miracles and stuff, having, you said litter, so like twins and stuff wouldn't be unusual. Having multiple children at once would be more common. Okay. So then, yeah, a bunch of kids run into the room, and he suddenly remembers all of them and knows who they are. And yeah, his wife is there. I think his wife is there, and while he is not there, the enhanced hearing of Robert can hear that there is another guy back in the bedroom that didn't come out.
Sure. But Cecilia, like, even though she's been cheating on you, is still really happy to see you. It's
a normaler thing for
like
that
she's
to be
probably
a thing.
like crying. It was like, oh
yeah,
I
like
was so worried.
It's
I thought maybe one of your coworkers had killed you and wanted to take over your business.
Which probably wouldn't be that uncommon. This is so strange, but really cool.
Watch out for Bill in accounting. He's a usurper.
You weren't able to find a body, and honestly, I don't think any of your employees are that competent that they could cover it up.
No, I'm okay.
And so she gives you a loving hug, and like the two of you like you have kids like trying to climb up on you.
I have the affliction forgotten how to sleep, and so I think even before she hugs me, she like forgotten how to sleep is fine. I think Robert still looks like he needs to sleep. Robert looks exhausted and haggard. He hasn't slept in days, and while as a power, I don't think he needs to sleep. He doesn't need to sleep. He still looks like he needs to sleep.
Right. And
so he looks like a mess. There might be Imperator and or Power blood on his shirt, as his like once pristine suit. Yeah, he looks
like been taking showers and stuff, or
probably not. Honestly, that seems. I think even to me, as a player of how I think Robert would think with everything that's going on, that would seem relatively unimportant. To Robert, it's probably even more unimportant.
Right, so this is like unusual for Cecilia, right? Like she would expect you to be maintaining a professional appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And she'd be worried about setting a bad example for the kids. She's like, all right.
Yeah.
Kids, why don't you go train in the basement with Uncle Ted, and Robert and I are going to go talk with a few things.
And yeah, I encourage them to go along, and I tell them like they can go play. And of course, oh man, no willpower with kids and playing.
Yeah,
that sounds That sounds like...
I mean, it's amazing they stopped playing the video game to come and see you.
Exactly. Yeah.
They were asleep. They had been playing the murder simulators till like 2 a.m. Yeah.
So yeah, I think after some roughhousing and finally getting them out, it's just me and Cecilia, and
she's
I think Robert just sighs.
She pushes you into the shower.
Okay.
And starts talking to you, like she's like just expressing her concern and like, where have you been?
I'm trying as much as I can try to keep up appearances because I have no bones and I'm using my legendary master ability to look normal, and now I'm naked and that is even harder.
Yeah, like, can she tell, like, there's discolorations and bruises all over your body?
Honestly, as much as the legendary master says I can probably do it, like, literally from keeping my entire body looking exactly the same shape long term while moving it, as if I had bones, I think she can tell. I think if anyone could tell, she could tell.
Yeah. Like, maybe she hopes they'll wash off. She doesn't say anything about it yet.
Yeah. And I say, sorry, I can't remember what she said. You said that she said a thing?
Yeah, she asked where you were.
Okay. I got in a car crash, and then I think he thinks for a long while, and of course he has no willpower to resist lying. So I say that Robert says, I got abducted. I got kidnapped. Not by a competitor. Someone wanted me to it was just because I was there.
Was it the
government?
A
random target.
They sent me a special forces team to recover you if we needed to. I think we could convince them to do a retaliatory strike. Who was it?
I don't know. Still lying, of course.
Okay.
That's the only part you lied about, because everything else is sort of half true.
Everything else, that's the thing. That his trying to tell the truth without willpower is telling half truths.
And remember, you can't do anything you don't have a skill for.
Exactly. Which means I can lie. Which means that the best he can do is technically lie.
In fact, you have a passion that's the closest for her not knowing. So
yeah, exactly. So I forgot about that. Yeah, I do. And so Robert says, but it's still, that doesn't matter for when there's no willpower. And yeah, so he says, I don't know who they were, but I escaped. But I think he lies when I think I should stop saying he lies. Assume he lies unless I say otherwise, right, which would be very rare. And he says, but everything's going to be okay now. I think.
Let's hope we can go back to normal.
He bites his lip slightly, looking away from her while he's pretending to shower, and then says, yeah, I think we can go back to normal.
So, when you get out of the shower, she looks at your naked body and notices that, the bruises haven't washed off. So she gives you a towel. It says, do we need to go to the doctor? We should bring you to the doctor. Make sure you're still okay. After a car crash, you might have some broken bones or internal injuries. You certainly can't feel good the way you look.
I shake my head no and say, no, it's been weeks. The car crash was weeks ago. whoever kidnapped me wanted me alive. They had someone to treat me. I'll be fine, they said.
You trust these people you don't even know?
I trust that they wanted me for a reason. Wanted me alive, might still want me, but yeah, I don't trust them as to what they wanted me for, but I trust what I know about them.
So Cecilia takes you to the main room, gives you a new suit and new clothes. I'm going to ask you two questions. First, is you lying to Cecilia part of your relationship, where Cecilia just knows everything you say is a lie?
I can't imagine, like, I have a lying of 5, but if literally everything I say is a lie, then no amount of skill in lying will make all of them, like, me get away with all of them.
Right. Like, lying is not about getting away with it, it's just about...
Exactly. Which means, yeah, I think, like, yeah, in this altered reality, it must be. This is a really sad place.
What does Cecilia do? What is she good at?
What would she be good at? In this would her skills change for this altered reality?
No.
Because having 8 kids sounds okay. I was gonna say having 8 kids sounds like a skill in and of itself.
She probably has a passion about, keeping her children safe.
Yeah.
And being a wife. And she uses those.
Yeah, but I think she's more than just, like...
I don't think you would just marry a trophy wife.
Yeah, no, Robert didn't. Robert married someone who would legitimately emotionally support him.
I think she has, like, actual, like, skills. Like, she probably went to college.
Yeah, and honestly...
She probably has a career of her own.
Exactly.
Maybe in your company, but I think she would still have a career.
I agree, and I also think that she probably he has a skill of lying, but she knows him. I think she has a skill at seeing through lies, even from before the thing. She would probably have at least some skill in it, maybe like a 2 or a 3.
Right.
And so,
can I just make the side note that Robert is like the shittiest husband ever? He married her because she's so supportive, and all he does is lie to her.
Oh, yeah.
So I think, like, we're going to steal from other RPG games here. The skill for countering lying is lying herself. So
okay.
She probably has like 3 points of
knowledge
lying.
of lying.
Yeah, lying lies.
Lying.
Yeah. So we're both telling lies to each other all of the time, and we're speaking another language because we can both see through those lies.
It's a subtextual relationship.
Yeah.
Where just like...
I mean, she doesn't have to lie because she also has a passion about loving and supporting you.
Yes.
So she can use that to actually interact with you like a normal person, while you don't.
I have a passion that says I want my old life and family back. This is now very different from what it meant when I first wrote it, but it's still true.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder what that would mean for all of this.
If only it was rated higher. You could actually
If
use
only
it
it wasn't
something.
literally a 0. Yeah. I should get some Destiny.
I mean, it would be interesting to interpret that as wanting, like, literally, like...
Yeah, now with the world having changed.
Yeah, even if you don't, like, intellectually understand it, you actually want your family to revert to the
beings they were before.
That they were in before all of this stuff happened.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because that can be a thing that, as a character, you don't understand, but it's still metaphysically...
Yeah, it's still a thing that would be on my character sheet and would be... It's like one of those subconscious desires.
And you'd be driven to do something that is pretty much literally impossible to do. So you'd be like the most tormented person in the world.
Which is perfect for any role-playing game. Don't play happy people. Happy people are boring in role-playing games.
Also, Zen, define literally Nobilis.
Fair.
Yeah.
So I think at this point, like Cecilia gets a call on her cell phone, and it says
Yeah.
FBI, and she is talking to the FBI. Says, "Oh, he came home," and she starts telling them the lie you told her, which is why she
Mhm.
needs the lying skills, so she can just tell other people your lies.
Yeah,
So
she
keep
can
the
lie
same
to them
story.
knowing it's a lie,
Yeah,
That's amazing.
which is also in line with protecting and supporting me,
right.
lying to others for me. I'm just wonderful at influencing the people around me.
You are, and also you have the cool 5. You didn't actually
That's
tell her
true.
to lie for you yet, but if
Yeah.
you did,
It's
she'd be
less of a
better at it.
family and more of a cult at this point.
Yeah. Which is probably most families in this new world.
And Cecilia says, "All right, Robert, they're going to send somebody by just to check on us and make sure this is okay. Um, they did spend a lot of resources looking for you, so I think
Okay.
we should at least give them this."
I think he nods and says, "Okay." He says, It's been a while since I've eaten. Can you get something for me?"
Oh, of course. I'll cook your favorite.
And he
And
smiles at her and says, "Thank you."
so she goes downstairs, and
Soon as she leaves, he wants to leave, but also use his like supernatural physical abilities to write her a note.
okay,
Now he is not. He is quite literally not capable of telling the truth to her.
do you really?
Are you talking to me or someone off screen?
No,
I
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you really can't do it any other way. Well, you can do an aspect miracle still, so you can,
Okay.
as a nobilis, you can still do whatever you want. But
Okay. Then
you have
I
to
would
use a
like.
miracle to do it.
I would like to use a miracle to tell my wife to like write my wife an honest letter.
Sure.
Um.
You are just the stereotype of the worst person. Like,
Yeah.
it takes a miracle for me to tell anyone the truth. Like,
So bad.
Yep. And I think he doesn't like tell her everything. He still has the passion that she mustn't know, and that is not a thing he would like. She wouldn't understand.
Okay.
I think I'm not going to read the full thing, but in short, he says things along the lines of like this, like things aren't right, things aren't how they're supposed to be, and our family is sick, not broken and not unsalvageable, and he needs to go away for a while to go heal it. And he doesn't know if he'll succeed. He says he says like he loves her and that he hopes this works out and he wants to see her again. And yeah, he says like that he loves the kids and he names all like 8 of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say it just takes you a few minutes?
I'm using a miracle for this, an aspect miracle, so I would like to write it up in literally superhuman speed, perhaps with smoke coming off of the pencil and paper or pen and paper.
Sure, of course, but the paper doesn't start on fire because it's a miracle.
Exactly.
It's a little bit warm, and there's some glowing charcoal on it.
Exactly. So, let's see what miracle that would be. I assume with my aspect of 4, I might not have to spend any miracle points.
Oh, no. Let me
Yeah,
actually just
so.
check. But
Divine force.
Literally, instantly?
Not literally instantly, but like within a few moments. And divine force seems like it would be enough. With the mental speed of a supercomputer, I could compose that letter in a second, literally, and then write it immediately.
Well, you can only do it at 4 because you're not in the chancel.
Yeah.
Without spending MP.
Well, I think 4 is enough, is it not? To basically do it and be gone, because I will disappear before she gets back.
I think it still takes you a minute, but yeah.
Okay.
So you don't tell her you're a nobilis, you just tell her you have
She
things
wouldn't.
you have to do.
And I tell her that there are things I have to do, that
the world's not right.
I don't even say the world's not right, because that sounds like a crazy person. I say there's I have to heal our family, and that there's a thing I have to do, and that I of course say I'm sorry, and that I know you don't understand. Hopefully you will one day, and that I say that I know, I for once tell the truth because I'm using a miracle, and so which is possibly something I've literally never done before, because before being a Nobilis, I've literally been incapable of it. Now I can actually tell the truth. And I say that, I'm doing. I ask her to trust me, and I say that I'm doing this all for her, and that for once I'm telling the truth.
Sure.
Yeah. All of that. It's very heartfelt. And then I think she comes back, and I can do a thing to leave, but I don't think it would even need its own role or its own focus. She might just come back and I'm not there.
I think it does, though, because the FBI is watching the house.
Okay. Okay.
They definitely saw you come.
Yeah, that's true.
Am I still
Am
I just in the car? Because I came with you, right?
I thought you did, but then you never mentioned anything, and I forgot. But you can have come with me. Yeah.
No, I don't think I'm in the house with you.
Okay, you're in the car with Umaya driving with aviators on. Yeah.
Did Umaya come with us?
She
you said Umaya drove up, so I assumed that she was still there.
Yeah, she's driving. So there's this weird wheel of fire in the seat next to you. So she reaches over and there's this iPod plugged in, and she presses a button and it seeks forward to this rock and roll song. Oh my god,
guys! Suddenly we're in Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's got the sunglasses on,
Yeah, totally.
Yep. Okay, so you're in the car. Do you want to do a thing while I'm talking and writing?
No, I have a way for you, but that's it.
Okay.
You're there for emotional support.
Yeah.
So
I think. Sorry, Zen?
I was going to say, how long has this taken overall that you've been in the house and everything?
Probably
it's been only, with a shower and stuff, half an hour at most, maybe even closer to 20 minutes.
If it starts taking too long, Beck is going to get bored. He's going to cast a miracle on you to forget your obligations so we can leave.
If this was fate, I would actually compel you to do that on me.
Let's just say
could you do that on me?
If that's how you want it to happen, you can just say
could you do that on me right after? Yeah, I think enough time has passed. Right after I'm done writing the letter.
Yeah.
That definitely happens then.
Okay. So I forget my obligations. Now, how much am I forgetting my obligations? Am I forgetting that my obligations exist? Well, it's up to Zen, I think.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, depending on the power of the thing, I guess. It's probably like a lesser enchantment, so...
Persona?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably
so it's a level 4 miracle, so...
Yeah, what's the definition of that for persona? Persona... Okay. Make me forget about my obligations or something like that.
I think it's whatever he wants, yeah.
Yeah. I could see both. It's up to you, I think, if you make it permanent.
I think it's just the immediate, he doesn't want to screw up your future, but it's just I don't want to sit here anymore. Let's go.
Okay.
Just get out of the house.
Yeah.
You don't forget about them, but you just are not thinking about them anymore.
Yeah, it's just okay, I'm done, and it's completely out of my mind. It's not bothering me. There's no guilt, anything. It's just not what I'm thinking about at all.
Right.
Okay, perfect. So I still need to get out of the house. But I don't think I'm thinking about my obligations, including staying away from the FBI. So I think I walk out of the house.
So
does an FBI agent try to stop me?
not really, but I think Cecilia might notice.
Yeah, because I've forgotten about her, so I don't try to sneak away or anything. I write the letter with the intention to sneak away, and then suddenly I'm like, I'll just walk.
So you go downstairs. It's been about a minute.
And the door closes. The front door slams shut of me leaving, or?
Yeah, I think she hears you leaving. She says, "Robert," and then you're gone.
Yeah.
And you get in the car, and I think she runs to the door and throws it open, and sees you getting in the car with Umaya, and like her eyes go wide and kind of zones out.
Yeah. And I wave to her because I've like, she's still my wife, but I've forgotten about my obligation to stay. So I'm like, oh, hi, I'm getting in this car.
Right. And yeah, I think Amaya just drives away.
Yeah. I wave to her innocently, have forgotten that she doesn't want me to leave. I'm like saying goodbye like a normal goodbye. I wave that type of goodbye. Cool. The tragic, I don't even know that this is wrong goodbye.
Yeah, you're all smiles and everything. Just see you later.
Yeah, it's like I'm going on a trip.
Straight up.
I think it's a close of that scene. Like we see Zen, your truck. That's not you. You know, the copy of you.
Mm-hmm.
We see it like wandering and watching this TV, and there's a story about how the FBI are on the look for Robert. Like he showed up back at his house, and he left again. And like we see this panel of experts like speculating about what Robert's next move will be, and said, "Well, Robert usually isn't too aggressive in his business dealings, but we can only speculate. It's not something that he wants publicly known." But
like
he's threatening his family and.
Yeah, like a copy of the letter is probably shown, theorizing that because Robert is such a liar, and that is a thing that he does, that he might have like an entire secret life that is Breaking Bad style. Like, what if he is a drug lord or whatever? Like something that's like that. What if he's funding ISIS?
Right,
like something that of that level.
So the FBI had his house under surveillance and stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm imagining that. As this panel is going on, there's like this still frame, like superimposed in the background of Robert getting into a car with a priest, a gearhead, and whatever Umaya looks like.
Yeah.
And like, I think like this looks similar to this footage we got from the Amazon last week, and then you see this like Umaya, who isn't Umaya's copy that you made sadistic, floating over the jungle and just like burning the entire Amazon rainforest down to try and get at those Christians.
That's awesome. I do not regret doing that miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now you are a known associate of supernatural terrorism. So
maybe. I still don't regret it as a player.
And then if you keep watching, they'll cut to a satellite overview of Umaya and Robert and Phineas.
Oh, they're tracking us on satellite.
Yeah,
awesome.
Like, we don't know where he's going or what he's doing, but the FBI wants to know. And of course, they have cut out all the FBI vehicles that might be following you because they're not stupid.
They're not going to show that.
I'm really hoping this newscast was put together in a hurry and they just like reconfigured the Santa tracking graphic.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, well, that was a really messed up scene.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So good.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and then we'll figure out what, if anything, you guys want to do. Before the stream, I accidentally deleted my break screen. So
That's
fine.
that's not good.
I'll fix that. Anyway,
Go to Baker Cat. Baker Cat will be your break screen.
Baker Cat?
You don't know Baker Cat?
I definitely don't have Baker Cat.
Oh, let me go find you Baker Cat.
All right, we'll be back soon.
All right.